Hi there, readers. Welcome again, and here we are on another reading journey. This week we are moving into the world of whimsy. And my first book this week was actually a recommendation from a viewer. So I took you up on that. You know who you are. And my first book is called Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries. And this is written by Heather Fawcett. So, this is a story about a girl called Emily Wilde, as you can see, and she is a socially awkward academic and scholar who is attempting to collate an encyclopedia and compendium of all fairy and folk and everything that entails, and she jaunts off on expeditions to collate this information and collect it for her compendium, like I say. So she journeys off into what sounds like the Nordic wilderness, by all accounts, and is followed by her friend, scholar, neighbour at her university, who happens on the doorstep and then proceeds to attempt to help her. And then follows the story of her magical foray into all that is folk. And being fairy, they're not particularly friendly as such. You know, we've kind of grown up with, fairies, they dance about in pretty little dresses and things, but actually, no, that's not really the case. She comes across danger at many turns, and yeah, I thought this was really good, actually. Her explanations of what the fairies and the folk look like, the ethereal way that they appear, their actions and society and everything. It was great. And the social awkwardness of this poor girl leads her to just want to be on her own and with her books and not deal with people at all, because she finds them really, really challenging to cope with. And that's where her scholarly neighbour comes in to help, because he's so much better at it, and the two of them move through this adventure together. I really enjoyed it. I thought the author did a great job of pulling this together, and the pacing was good, and it kept you going till the end, full of adventure, full of whimsy, full of magic. If you like any of these topics, I'm sure that you will enjoy this. So, that was my first book. Lovely. Give it a shot if you're into these topics, because I'm sure you'll like it. Now, my second book is one that I have seen on the shelves of a few different booktubers, although I hadn't really delved into what it was about, and I came across it somewhere else. I can't think where I found out, what the blurb was, and I thought, actually, that sounds really interesting. But in a visit to my local library last week, or it could have been the week before, actually, this book was on the main shelf for summer reads that the librarians had suggested. So there we go. It's my shot to read it, clearly. So this book is called Water Moon by Samantha Sotto Yambao. Now, Water Moon. So, on the surface of this, I'll hold it up. Sorry, it's a bit shiny, it can be in a library book. On the surface of this, it is just a whimsical adventure. It's about a girl who inherits the family's pawn shop from her dad when he retires, and it's her job to take it over. But on the day that she takes it over, there's a theft, there's a burglary, and she wakes up to find the place completely ransacked, and she's not sure what to make of it because it seems odd beyond just being a burglary. And then a man walks into the pawn shop who then offers to help her deal with the problem. So the two of them, along with the fact that her dad is actually missing, as well as one of the most valuable assets from the pawn shop, are both missing. So the two of them go on a wee quest to try and find her dad and this missing asset. Unfolds magical mystery adventure, because this pawn shop doesn't actually exist in our world. It exists in a neighbouring world which is vastly different from our own, much to the surprise of this poor man that has stumbled into this world to try and help this girl. So they go on an adventure to try and do this quest. Lots of strange and magical and whimsical things happen on this quest. What an imagination this girl has, and she unfolds it in exciting, and I wouldn't call it fast-paced, but really keeps you going until the end. I mean, I sat through this in just a couple of sittings because I found it to be a page turner. I loved it. I really liked her style. I liked her characters. I liked how the story unfolded. But beyond that, this is actually a story predominantly about free choice and existential questions, and what really is the meaning of life, and what is our place in it, and the choices that we make, how does that truly impact others and the world and everything else. And I tell you, there was a fair few profound restatements littered throughout this that I was surprised by and loved it. I thought she brought this together really well. I know this isn't her first book, but apparently it's her first book in the UK. I'm not sure about elsewhere, whether that might be her first book in the States and things as well. I'm not sure. But I will undoubtedly be reading this author again because, as I say, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I am so glad I picked this up at the library. If you are remotely interested in gently tapping into the bigger questions, or just the telling of a magical tale with strange worlds and an interesting foray into an adventure, then yeah, absolutely. Please give this a shot. If I was giving ratings, this would be towards my top end because it encapsulated so many things that I really enjoy about a story. So once again, I'm so glad I read this. I've had a great week in the world of whimsy this week. I've really enjoyed the two books that I've managed to get through for this week's video. I hope that you've found this interesting. If you've read these two books, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. I would love any sort of discussion about these. It would be great. Guys, I hope you've had an amazing week yourselves, and hopefully you can join me again for the next one. Okay, take care.